Hello guys, welcome back. So I'm getting, ooh, this will be a good video as the management is changing full time over to the old man. Do not run away just yet. We thought we would do a loving, heartwarming video on cursing people. Your little ears just went boing. The thing is, I'm not Wiccan. Wiccans won't curse people. I'm not a Wiccan. Don't fuck with me. There goes my monetization. But we also discussed that too. The only reason I wasn't cursing in the last video you saw me on screen was they're like, oh, you're not allowed to swear anymore. And I'm like, well, this is going to last long. So since they're not going to let us have a channel anymore, let's talk about cursing people. If you work with the Norse gods, you can look in lore and you can see surprising things like good guy gods like Thor throwing curses on people. Gods will throw blessings and curses with equal joy, and we don't know why. And I like to watch people's minds melt when they see a god like Thor matching a blessing with a curse, and they're like, "What is he doing? That it's Thor." Gods don't like everybody, so far as we can tell. These gods aren't Jesus. They don't like everybody, and sometimes there might have been a ritualistic reason why, say, one god was throwing a blessing and one god was throwing a curse. It might be a ritual. It might be, a metaphor for, yeah, you're going to have a lot of blessings in your life and a lot of curses too. But, we're working with gods that have no problem with being returned to sender. And I don't mean the hoodoo spell. I mean, if someone sends bad energy to you, you should, by the way, and I'm not going to teach you the way I do it, but you should, by the way, figure out a way to send that energy back. I don't care how you do it, but you should find a way that's kind of inert and just works passively in the background and sends bad energy back to people, because you've always got jealous people, judgmental people, just mean-spirited ass clowns out there that they need that return to sender, and they need it returned to sender fast. That will sweep up a lot of the stuff. But you're always going to have people come into your life that are going to be like just very staticky and everything. And the funny thing is, some of the worst people in your life can actually hand you the magic to get rid of them. I had an aunt once tell me that if I put salt across my doorway, I would never get ants again. Do you know that once I salted my doorway, none of the relatives ever visited again? I was like, that's funny. But it got rid of the problem. As the ants stopped, the other ants stopped too. And it was kind of amazing. And it was kind of one of those things of, well, people are going to reap what they sow. If people are going to be bad, then there's really nothing wrong in there. It's not even an ethical thing. There's nothing wrong with sending that energy back to them. If somebody's going to send nasty stuff your way, say on the internet, oh, I've been doing this all day. There's nothing ethically wrong with saying, okay, you want to play this game? Okay, here you go. Here it is back, and here's a little more sometimes, depending on what they did. And if they really go for a low blow and they go for a low shot, you don't even have to get in a fighting discussion or anything with them. You can just block people and just send that energy right on back to them and send it with interest. It's a kind of an aggressive return to sender. It's like, oh, you get that back, plus you get more. And I always try to think for a moment and think of, how should this curse how should this curse work? How should this extra blessing work? I often joke to Odin, my very worst curse that I know is, may you get what you deserve. And that applies to everything, because for one, if that boomerangs back, no problem if you're not pissing the gods off. And two, that is the karma bus running people over because that damn thing was going too slow, and you're like, okay, I'm going to speed things up here. I'm step on the gas pedal. And we all run across people, like you run across people looking for fights, or you run across people that have to be last Lokean standing, or they are the gifted mouthpiece of the gods, or whatever. And they come over and they hassle you and they're sending bad energy to you. Maybe they're running behind your back and they're talking to you. Then you can just send that back to them. Send it back to them. You don't have to do major curses like a Hollywood movie where there's blood and candles and dark music and you're going into some kind of trance. You don't even have to do that. You can just speak it. You want to go a little further, feel pulling up the energy that they have sent you and send it right back to them, because you don't want that in your life. Now, there is a caveat here. Just like if you're typically the kind of person to send out a lot of good energy, you're going to have mostly good energy in your home. If you're a kind of person that sends out mostly bad energy, a very negative, hostile person, I don't care how much delusion land you live in, you're going to start feeling it in your home. You're going to notice it in your home. Usually, once you start working with the Norse gods, you're going to notice, at least to me, a balance of both. You're not going to have saccharine sweet energy, but you're not going to have very negative bad energy. It's going to be good, but it's going to be kind of like neutral good. Some days chaotic good. It depends on the mood the old man's in. And it's going to be, sometimes neutral. You're going to feel around your house and you're going to feel like, well, this doesn't feel like a blessed temple, but it doesn't feel like a cursed forest. It's just kind of neutral. And that is fine. That is fine. There's kind of this thing in paganism, and I think it goes into heathenry and that too, that it can tilt to, and I hate using words like good and evil because there really aren't any such constructs in the lore, but it can lean too much towards always doing the right thing, never taking, this or that path. And sometimes you have no other choice. You have to take that path. If you get a troublemaker, stop them right away. It's just like if you found a pest in your house, you would stop them right away. You wouldn't let them multiply. Same thing with people doing pesky behavior. If they're doing something that you don't agree with, just return it to sender. Not again, not the hoodoo spell, but that's return to sender is like the best thing I can think of. You are literally returning what they gave you to the sender is what you're doing. And, I can't tell you a way to do that. You just have to do it, whether you just think about it or you say, you think about it and you word it like, I hope they get what they deserve. Or if you get stronger. Now, if you're going to get really strong and heavy duty, I can't help you out there, but that has to be for something serious. You have to realize you can't try to strike everyone dead that just merely annoys you. That's not going to help. That's really not going to help. Into you're going to be finding yourself going more and more out of control. It's why if people will curse, it's more of a last resort thing. It's not the very first thing you go to. Like magic should usually be a last resort if you can take care of it in a mundane way. Then cursing should be a last resort after that. Like, okay, I've done everything I could physically, I've done everything I could spiritually, this just isn't getting through to this person, then yeah, then you can go ahead and do that. Now, the thing is, you do have to be the kind of person that's an adult and you can live with the ethics of it. You have to live with the ethics that, yes, you intentionally sent this bad energy back to this person, or that you are intentionally sending bad energy towards this person with the intent to cause harm. You have to be able to live with that. You have to be able to not be up nights crying and hoping Jesus takes you back. You just have to be able to live with the fact that usually cursing's reserved for times when the law is not going to get involved, or the person is escaping the law, or there's not just justice. There's 1,000,000,000,000,000,000 insults and slights and wrongs that go on every day that you couldn't take into a court of law. Like if somebody just starts randomly harassing you in the street, or somebody is randomly harassing you on the internet, or you find out someone's been making a copy dummy site of like something you've done on the internet, or your neighbor just starts doing whatever. All these things are usually things you're not even going to get into a court of law. You're not even going to find a lawyer, let alone get it into a court of law. So cursing's kind of a way to deal with things. And you don't always have to curse all those examples above. Just because a neighbor is hassling you, you're not obligated to curse them. Just because someone's harassing you online, you're not obligated to curse them. It's when it crosses a certain line and it starts to get serious, then yeah, because if you know the law won't get involved, or you can't afford to get the law involved for whatever reason, then it's perfectly fine to say, here, you're getting back what you sent me. And the more I work with the old man, he's like, yeah, what are you going to do about it? You just got insulted, you got slapped across the face, or you got this done to you, you got that done. That doesn't mean I go around throwing curses around with wild abandon, but in certain cases, for certain subjects, then yeah, if you're insulted and you're called out, you can definitely be like, fine, you're getting that back. And again, you don't have to engage with the person, you don't have to get in a shouting match. Just send it back to them. So that's our TED Talk on cursing people. I know it's not really exciting because you guys expected me to tell you to dress all in black and get cow's blood and, black candles and everything. You don't have to do that. You don't. Cursing is just as simple and effective as blessing. It's just we don't do it all the time because you tend to Not reap what you sow, but you just tend to notice that if you're doing a lot of curses and you bring up a lot of angry energy, that certainly changes the environment you live in. And that's main reason for your own personal comfort. You don't want to overdo it. It has nothing to do with other people or being a good human being. You just want to live in an environment that's pleasant to live in. So, if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.